Eve Catherine Oliver, auditioning for the part of Beatrice.
Are you okay? You're quiet today.
I got an invite to Aubrey's birthday party and it's fancy dress, but I don't want to look like that. I don't want to be a childish princess, but I don't want to be a sexy nun.
Oh, Beatrice.
I don't really care. I'll probably end up not going anyway. So.
Oh, come on. You were so excited about it before. And just because all the costumes in here are rubbish doesn't mean we can't find something. I could make your costume.
Mum, don't worry, I'm fine.
No, seriously, let's do it. Find an idea for a costume and we'll make it together. I did a bit of work in the theatre when I was at university, so I know the basics.
Okay then.
Oh, great. Now, I can't promise you anything amazing, but we can have a go, can't we?
Gaskill auditioning for the part of Margaret. No, come on. You were so excited before. And just because all the costumes in here are rubbish doesn't mean we can't find something. I could make your costume.
Don't worry, Mum, I'm fine.
No, seriously, let's do it. Find an idea for a costume and we'll make it together. I did a bit of work in the theatre when I was at university, so I know the basics.
Okay then.
Great! Now, I can't promise anything amazing, but we can have a go, can't we?
And action.
You okay? You're quiet today?
Yeah, I'm fine.
You can tell me, love.
The traditional one, the sound and the picture just worked really well together so that you weren't distracted at all, you were just totally concentrating on the film and the story. It made it a completely different experience. If I'd just watched the experimental one, it wouldn't have made as much sense. The sounds, they just didn't match with what was going on screen.
Okay, Eve, you're playing a character younger than your actual age. So thinking back to when you were a teenager, can you remember your thoughts when you saw women in films and adverts and things, especially like the ones portrayed in the prop that you've got there, the Fancy Dress magazine?
Yeah, to be honest, thinking about it when I was 17, 18, I didn't think about it as such. It was just a taken. It wasn't questioned. Why, for example, why should I wear so little going out to a fancy dress party? Why are women in films, you know, exactly the right height, long legs, slim body, long arms, beautiful face? I didn't question them as such. I questioned myself, and I questioned, oh, I'm too short, my legs are not the right shape, oh, there's a spot there, there's something wrong with me, which I think is something that is still happening today, and it's not something that I've thought is a problem as such with whoever is shoving these images in our faces constantly. I've thought of it always as a problem with myself, and I think that's something that obviously we've got to educate the next generation and so on, that actually we're not all carbon copies of each other. We can't all look perfect, and we shouldn't be forced into thinking that if we don't look great wearing just bra and knickers, that we're not a nice person, we're not good enough, sort of thing. I got this invite to Aubrey's birthday party. It's fancy dress, but I don't want to look like that. I don't want to be a childish princess or a sexy nun.
Ooh, B.
I don't really care. I'll probably end up not going anyway, so...
Oh no, come on, you were so excited about it before. And just because all the costumes in here are rubbish doesn't mean we can't find something. I could make your costume.
No, Mum. It's fine, really.
No, seriously, let's do it. Find an idea for a costume in here and we'll do it together. I did a bit of work in the theatre when I was at university, so I know the basics.
Okay then.
Great. Now, I can't promise you anything amazing, but we can have a go. So, which ones do you like in here? We can take the idea and make it better.
Do you think we can use the colours and the skirt from that one and put it on this one using the top of that one?
Ooh, like that. And then if we add a bit of that on top. Yeah.
That would look really good, actually.
That would look fantastic.
Could you do that?
Yeah.
And I like the idea of this one, but without the boots.
Okay.
So...
It's the end of this scene, so the speech is faded out, but the characters are still conversing. This is to make it seem as though the characters are having a meaningful conversation without pulling away from the pace of the film.
If I find out you've been arrested because you're running around the streets with that, I'm not going to disown you.
So, Denise, what were your experiences of women in film when you were growing up, and do you think it's any different from today?
Growing up, it was very much mum and dad acting as a filter. So you've got Disney princesses as role models when you begin, and then it wasn't until really the 80s when it wasn't so much film as it was TV. So you had Cagney and Lacey suddenly coming up, very believable female characters that were actually leads as well. Nowadays, unfortunately, I think there's you have far too much exposure simply because they're women, and I think a lot of producers think, oh, we've got to have a woman, female kind of lead character, and they don't think about actually what the character should be. So my personal dislike is The Silent Witness and the American equivalent. There is no reason why they have to behave as they do, and yet they do, and it is intensely annoying. Whereas then you have, especially in TV, something like Damages or The Good Wife, where it is completely believable she is what she is. That's the direction it should be going in.
The image that I felt a lot growing up was, I'm not good enough. I'm not good enough to be on that poster. I'm not good enough to be in that film. And that wasn't anything to do with whether I thought I had the talent. It was to do with, I'm not good enough. I don't have the right look. I'm not blonde and 6 foot tall. And like I say, that's something that at the time I didn't think there was a problem with. That was just not questioned. It was the same as, why do I get up and brush my teeth every morning? I don't question it. I do it. It's routine. And I think, unfortunately, the images that we see, like in the magazine, it's just so pounded, particularly into young girls, that it's not questioned. And I think we need to start to question whether actually this is damaging to young girls. I've got some more.
Chloe?
Skirt. Leggings. Underneath the skirt.
And I have the cape.
Oh my god.
Try not.
Okay.
In the traditional one, you're watching something and all the things that happen are expected and are traditional, and I think you're less sucked in because you're just watching it and you're not really thinking. Whereas in the experimental one, because it's an experimental one and lots of things happen that you don't expect, it makes you stop and think about what's happening on the screen and why it's happening on the screen and why things are placed the way they are and what the message the director wants to come across.
The other thing that's changed completely is, of course, you now have a lot more comments. You have blogs, you have Twitter, you've got Facebook, all of which actually I don't think add an enormous amount in terms of just what female personas can be. There is a horrible rumour going around that producers now pay attention to what fans and anti-fans actually do say, which is not what it should be. Guys, come on now. If a girl fits the character, you use a girl. But the image is even more intense. I am not even a size 10. Character actors can get away with it, but if you look at what female actresses are supposed to look like in generic film, TV shows like 201, 20, Tomorrow People, the actresses can actually be interchanged. You wouldn't actually notice. It's all very much a look. They have to be tiny, they have to be flawless. If you actually looked at these people in real life, they've got spots and they've got crevices and everything else. It's natural, but that doesn't seem to have filtered down at the minute.
Thanks again, Mum.
Anything for my girl. Call me when you're ready to come home.
Oh, that was good.